Imagine never being there for your son, telling him, oh, you're going on a week trip with his dad and to stay with the housekeeper, and then telling him that second place is not good enough and that he needs to. Is it that hard to keep doing what you're doing? Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another review on the Review Garden. Episode 7 of Dr. Slump starts off with a little backstory into Yang-woo and, how he was growing up, the interaction with his mom, and so on, and kind of give you like a glimpse of the type of loneliness that he has. And my thing is, when he clears this case, he needs to cut off his parents, okay? He doesn't need their money because he made his own money, and he needs to cut off those friends. And I'm still not, and I still think that other one who's sticking by him is guilty of something, because he was the one with the pen and didn't give it to him until, the last minute. So we also got to see, the episode pick up where episode 6 left off, which was Young-woo fighting with the guy who was following him in the mask. And then we saw, it kind of left us with the cliffhanger of Hanul. It made it look like she was going to be attacked. But here we see that it was actually her brother who came into the room. And she found the pen under the bed. And, the brother pointed out that, hey, it's a spy camera. So now they have a lot of pens. They found a lot of pens. The guy who was running also dropped one of the pens on the floor. So hopefully they can, find out what's on the pens and, do something to help with his case. Also, regarding his case, I like the way she took the iron and was like, take off your shirt. I have to iron it. Last time you did not look good on TV. Your shirt was wrinkled. So now take off your shirt and let me iron it for you. And then you see her mom. I was like, is she looking for the iron in the fridge? Like, what is she doing? So, there's food missing in the fridge. So I'm assuming that it's Hanul that's taking the food over to Young-woo. Did someone kidnap him so that he wouldn't make it to his trial? Okay, so no one kidnapped him. I guess he must have just dropped his phone on the floor. He must have seen the CCTV because he walked into the courtroom 30 minutes late with a USB drive. So there must be something on the, CCTV with the person's identity or something. They're making it look like he's looking at the parent or the friend. So who is he looking at? My gut is telling me that it's the friend, but I don't know. It could be wrong. It could be one of the people, the men for the parent, but I don't think he would be looking like that if it wasn't the friend. You know what I mean? I stand corrected. It was her own family who tried to kill her, which in my previous reviews, we could say, okay, yeah, I did suspect them too. But the way they're making it look like the friend is also guilty of something, I wouldn't even put it past him, because the way he threw Hanul under the bus, it wouldn't surprise me that, he would throw Jung-woo under the bus as well. But the girl's family, hired some people to go into his hospital and put the bad stuff in his office. So that's why the girl passed away. But my thing is, why is the other doctor, his title started with the A, but the one who didn't want to be on the stand, who was suspicious in his office, now why does he want to help all of a sudden? Because before he was up being all wishy-washy, he didn't want to help. So what does he have to gain now? So when like the truth is revealed, they show you that, the other doctor that was in the room, he got in trouble before. He was the scapegoat for a previous malpractice where someone else passed away. And, he got into a habit of putting cameras into the operation room moving forward so that he doesn't fall into the same thing again. So it was his cameras that were videotaping the room that day. And luckily, he caught everything and was able to save Jung-woo. But I mean, I get it that he was scared, but the way they played it out, it was like, he broke into his house so that he can give him the pen. But when Hanno's brother came in, the pen fell on the floor under the desk. And, all this time, it wasn't happening. I mean, I get that he was scared, but you know how you know where he lives. You followed him so many times. You could have just mailed him the evidence, You didn't have to like follow him and be all creepy like, because you were following him at the end of last episode and you guys got into a fight. So the easiest thing could have been to mail him not even mail him, because you know where he lives. You could have just put it in front of the door rather than break into his house and do all that. But I think it was more the writers creating suspense in a way for everyone to think like there was someone out there to get him maybe. This is just me saying my thoughts based on 30 minutes into, episode 7. So we don't know if he was the only one after him or if the girl's family sent someone else after him. But my thing is, he could have just easily sent it to him in an envelope, and all of this would have it was just unnecessary. So now, Jung-woo was cleared of all charges, and he's still in his slump. Like, he hasn't fully recovered from everything that just happened to him. But then you're seeing a lot of outsiders who are like rejoicing at how much money they're going to be making, how much clout they're going to be getting over his case, over the fact that, he was found innocent, he was proven innocent. And you have those two friends who are now, now would be a time to give him a call to patch things up. We're still unemployed. I'm sorry, go somewhere else, because no, you weren't there for him when he needed you. You fought with him and you blamed him for y'all being in your mess, even though he paid your fees. And now you want to come crawling back? No. And since this is episode 7, which I'm guessing of 16 episodes. So if they solved his case by episode 7, I wonder what the rest of the series will entail. Because, Hannah is still going through her depression, and he's going through his PTSD. So I think we're just going to see how they try to get out of this doctor slump, or this slump that they have, and see how he's going to get his career back. And that's if he even wants it back, after everything that's happened. So he needs to figure out what it is he wants from this moment on. And his mom is the worst of all of them. Like, she's the worst of all of them. You can be like, oh, you're trying to get money out of him. But like, you're calling him and saying, oh, I always knew you were innocent. Now just be nice to the reporters and put an end to it. That's all you tell him. From the whole time this was happening, this is the only other time she's called him. The first time she called him was when it first happened, telling him that, oh, you need to put a stop to this. Your father's running for the AMA, and, your story cannot mess this up for him. His whole life, she's only cared about the father. She's never cared about him. She's only cared about the father's image. Not once from what they've showed us, not once did she truly care about Jung-woo. And this was like the perfect opportunity for her to show that she could be a good mom. But up until the end, I could be like, Hano's mom, it has been a better mom to him than his own mom has. Question. Now, since he was found innocent, all those fees he had to pay, are they going to pay him back? Are they going to give him the money back? Because y'all made him pay all that money because you thought, he was guilty. But then now that he's found innocent, y'all better give the money back. I really do feel bad for Dae-young in this series, because like, he's really trying, and it's like no one is like giving him a break. And like, his relationship with Hano's friend is slowly developing, but you could see there's something there. But like, when he tried to call Young-woo, and Hano's mom picked up the phone and like cursed him out, and I was like, that he was so not deserving of that, because like, he's been supporting him in the background, like, everybody who like badmouth him, badmouth Jung-woo, he's like, don't you dare do that. Da-da-da. He's a good guy. So I'm really interested to find out what their falling out was, because they used to be close and then something happened. So I'm interested to see what that was, and I'm interested to see how Jung-woo and Dae-young's relationship is gonna get back together. I mean, if he does get together with Hano's friend, then they're always going to be hanging out together. So I wonder if he's going to ask him to join his practice, because they're both plastic surgeon. So I'm interested to see their story, their bromance come about. But yeah, he just called at the wrong time. He should have called like the next morning or something, to not be, in the crosshairs of Hano's mom. Episode 7 ended with Jung-woo professing his love, confessing his love to Hannah over and over again. Even though he was drunk, he still said some things to her, and which made her come to the realization of how, lonely he was, having, the type of people he's had in his life. And it's a good thing that, she and her family have, taken him in and kind of truly cares for him. I do want to see him profess his love, when he's not drunk, sober. That way, because he told her like he wasn't going to do it at the movies or blah, blah, blah. So I want to see if they're going to make him do it sober, or at the start of episode 8, is he going to remember or feel some type of way? Like, what are we going to do? Episode 8 starts with them giving you a glimpse of how Hannah's life was, and how her brother's life was, like how they were growing up. And, Hannah always focused on her studies. She didn't go out with friends. She didn't do anything. She didn't go to the movies. So she doesn't know anything about dating, right? So, but her brother, on the other hand, he didn't really care about getting good grades because, as long as Hannah did good, he was getting a pizza party. So he didn't really care about his grades. All he cared about was pretty much his friends and going out with different girls. So he knows a lot about dating, whereas she doesn't. So I wonder if they're going to like have him kind of help her, figure some things out. I find it funny that, and it's true for her, but for her to like go to her mom and her uncle to be asking, how does it qualify that we're dating? Do you have to say that we're dating, or do you have to like, if someone says they like you like 5 times and then you hold hands, are you automatically dating? And it's funny because when she was talking to her uncle, she was like, is that how they do it these days? And because if we're talking about these days, I don't think that qualifies as dating, right? Because, you got all these situationships, you got all these different terms for dating nowadays that, just holding hands doesn't technically qualify, as dating. So I think it's funny that because during their time, yes, that could have been considered dating, but these times, like nowadays, you gotta say it. You gotta write it in paper or something for it to be true. Because you never know. You never know. One person can be on one thing, and another person can be totally like on another thing. See, it's a good thing the brother was there. I told you like he would be the best one to help her out because he's the one who's, recently been on a lot of dates. And his analogy is, dating is like adding a bunch of stuff to your grocery cart, and it's not official until you until you check out. So do you agree with that analogy or not? Is that the way dating is nowadays? The scene with Hannah's brother that's coming to confront Jung-woo about, Hannah is going around asking people if you guys are together, while Hannah is in the bathroom hiding and listening to this whole conversation going. And he's like, oh, just go out with her already. Why are you toying with her? He's like, oh, well, I thought we were already going out since yesterday, you know? So I'm happy that they didn't do that whole, oh, he was drunk, he didn't remember anything. So it was cute the way he revealed that, yeah, they were actually they were already dating, blah blah blah. But yeah, so it's episode 8, and they're dating. I just hope they keep them together the whole season, because they're together earlier than most. So I just hope like they don't do anything that's going to split them up. Like, let them just enjoy their love, and then whatever comes, they tackle it together. And in this one, it's not your typical one's rich and one's poor. He made himself rich, he got himself his money. So there's not like his family that's gonna stop their love, blah blah blah. So I'm really hoping that they stay together till the end with no hiccups. They tackle their shit together. And I knew I was going to love, I was waiting for the scene where Dae-young and Jung-woo met each other again. And oh my gosh, it did not disappoint. It was so funny. Like, he's coming the day that they are going on their first date. The day that Jung-woo and Hanol is supposed to go on their first date, and then he's coming in between them saying like, oh my gosh, where have you been? I can't believe you've been living like this. Let's go out let's go out to eat and catch up. And oh my gosh, it's so cute. And I like that he has another person in his corner, someone who was like secretly fighting for him. And the fact that Hanol's idea of a sweet first date is to go to the library and read dissertations is totally Hanol behavior, because growing up, all she did was studying, and she's never been on a date before. So her being like, yeah, reading dissertations at the library, and then going to a study cafe, and the two of us writing a dissertation together would be, an ideal first date. And he's over here like, I don't think so. Jungwoo's friend is getting married. The one I thought was had something to do with the thing, with his incident. He's getting married, and Hanol has like this weird reaction to it. So like, did something happen between them? And now she's acting weird towards Jung-woo. And I'm like, okay, you didn't have any reaction when he threw you under the bus with the new job, but you hear he's getting married and all of a sudden you're feeling weird. I don't get it. So did she have a crush on Youngmin, or did she actually date him? They did the flashback, when Jung-woo found the photo of the two of them in Hanol's bedroom. So it looks like they were close. So something happened there. And I think maybe she didn't deal with it. She probably liked him, because when she was in the therapist's office, she was like, because he always told me I did a good job. So I think maybe there was a crush there. And he probably treated Hannah like a mentee. So it's just a shock to her that he's getting married. But I want to know is how long are they going to take for her to get over him? Because it's just a weird thing that you're going to put in here like one day after Jungwoo and Hanno start going out. Like, they didn't even enjoy going out together, like enjoy being together a whole episode. We already putting this slump into their new relationship. So pretty much all the doctors took advantage of her. They made her like she wrote all their dissertations. And this man, so that's her problem with him. He used her pretty much. He made her rely on him, giving her a little bit here and there so that he can steal her dissertation. She wrote the whole thing and he went and put only his name on the paper and was like, oh, Professor this and Professor that did the same thing too, so why can't I do it? To get praise. And when the nurse, told Hanno that he was leaving, he's getting married to this big pharmaceutical company, like the daughter of this big pharmaceutical company, and then put another person in his spot. He keeps moving other people up and didn't move Hanno up once. And this is what I mean. I knew this man was a snake. It was just the wrong person he was being a snake to. All this time he was being like that, and he was being kind and being nice to her on one front just so that she can do what he wanted her to do. And then when he was being nice, her not having those emotions before, she thought that he liked her, so she was feeling some way about him. So now I really hope that she gets out of this slump and, gets revenge on all these doctors. Because if you don't get out of it now, when she's going to go try and get another job, she's just going to let these people keep walking over her? No. You need to go in there and take your revenge, because you're the one who sat there, read through all these papers, and wrote those dissertations. So you need to get your credit. That's right. I was like, she better throw that thing in his face. Then boom. Like, who do you think you are? And then you coming over here telling her, what are you doing here? At his goodbye dinner. I'm like, what do you think she's doing here? Isn't she welcomed here? You sat there and stole her work and then used it to move up. So what do you think she's doing here? Huh? And he's lucky that that's all he got, a drink in the face. Because you deserve more. Like, you've been pissing me off since the beginning of this series. Like, remember when I was like in the beginning of the episode and I was like, oh, they should stay together till the end of... They should stay together till the end of the series. Let them face things together, Oh, they're getting together way too early, Hopefully something doesn't happen and mess this all up. They were together in the beginning of the episode, and then they're not together. They broke up at the end of the episode. This is exactly what I said I did not want. And they're giving it to me. And it's like, what the? What was the point of even getting together? You know what I mean? Like, this is something that they can go through together, because this is where, they do their misunderstandings. She doesn't want to open up to him about what the other guy did. So she's like, oh, you're not going to not accept a job because of me, because of what I'm going through. So let's end it. And what? You've been together for like 1 hour. Like, you haven't even been together for that long for you to be like, let's end it now. So we've reached the end of episode 8. It was a roller coaster of feelings for sure. So now we've reached halfway, through the series. So episode 8, 16 episodes, we've reached the halfway point. So now we're going to see what the second half entails and how long they're going to take to put them back together, and if they're going to stay together or do a roller coaster. They're together, they're broken up, they're together, they're broken up, because people can't deal with their feelings, or a bunch of other misunderstandings. So we shall find out what's going to happen. So that's the end of my reaction for episodes 7 and 8. Join me again for my reaction to episodes 9 and 10. And this wraps up our journey on the Review Garden. Thank you for joining me today as we explored this drama. If you enjoyed this reaction and review, please remember to subscribe for more insightful videos. Don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback helps our channel grow. As always, I'm truly grateful for your support and for joining me on this journey on the Review Garden. Until next time, and happy listening. Bye. Garden.